First fighter to the scale, the destroyer, the undefeated Conor Benn.
Chris Eubank Jr. in two weight classes. He has fought at a higher weight though in the last year or so, but we all say, don't we, there's a
got their face in front of them. Chris, he doesn't look fully hydrated, but he looks a lot better than he did this morning. So now it's just getting through the next 12 hours, or shall I say, for this young man.
Inside the weigh-in hall just minutes ago, the air was razor-sharp with tension. Chris Eubank Jr. stood carved at 160 pounds, every cut of muscle showing the grind of a ruthless camp. Conor Benn, coming up from 147 again, carried that trademark defiant glare. But when they stood side by side,
just be there as a father, show him that support, show him that mental drive that he needs, because mentally that's more.
Conor Benn's tone hints at unease as he reflects on fighting above his natural division. His sharpness, timing, and power were forged at welterweight, where his body moves with instinctive rhythm. Up against Chris Eubank Jr., every extra pound threatens the snap and speed that once...
Yeah, my last few fights have been at 153. My last couple, sorry. One in each year. So I fought once a year, 153. So I am a welter.
Chris Eubank Sr. speaks with the authority of experience earned over decades. His warning about dehydration and dangerous weight swings carries weight because he has seen both the glory and the cost. Eubank Jr. has corrected past mistakes, cutting early and cutting smart. For Senior, this isn't emotion. It's a reminder built on old-school wisdom about how fine the line is between power and punishment.
Weights are wrong. I said I'll never be proved wrong because I am standing on the rules. So I've said all that I've had to say. It doesn't change. So I'm not going to go bleating on the same subject. You will see there will be consequences. Weight. Dehydration is dangerous.
I totally understand your point, but the fighters don't think about the...
I'm not talking about them. I'm not talking about the fighters.
Conor Benn tries to project calm strength, but his body language hints at strain and recovery. He insists he feels powerful, yet there's a sense he's reassuring himself in the process. Returning to 147 is where his body truly belongs, but facing Eubank Jr. at middleweight means confronting someone who has lived in this division for years. That physical contrast alone could determine everything when the first bell...
Yeah, I'm just excited to get back down to 147 after this.
You feel strong at the weight. So good.
Yeah, I'm fully fueled for my sessions, so I feel strong.
Chris Eubank Jr. sounds controlled and lethal. The moment he mentions Bomac, his tone shifts, crediting the architect behind his renewed rhythm and discipline. He carries the aura of a man reborn, focused on dominance rather than noise. While Benn jokes and postures, Eubank speaks like a soldier who has completed his drills and knows precisely when to strike. Every word seems intentional, every glance...
Cracking some jokes when we were facing off. It's not going to be funny when that bell goes in a couple of days' time, that's for sure. But we'll see what happens.
He says he's better prepared. How's it been for you having Bomac back by your side in this camp? What's it given you?
Bomac is a genius. This man is, he's at the top. He's shown time and time again that he has that secret sauce. We had a great camp for the Liam Smith 2 fight, and that's why I knew that he was the man for the job here in this rematch against Benn. There were some tricks up our sleeve.
Conor Benn brings fiery passion, the energy fans expect from him. Yet beneath that intensity is a flicker of nervous excitement. He believes he can hurt Eubank Jr., but that belief has consequences against a man known for iron resistance and sharp timing. This rematch is bigger than revenge, it's a proving ground. Benn wants to show his power can rise through weight classes. His smile masks the...
I've got redemption and I've actually got revenge on the same night before we even fought. So it's quite funny, but yeah, I'm excited to go in there and just do what we know I can do. I know I can hurt him, and I'm going to go out there and capitalise on the mistakes he made in the first fight and go out there and give the fans what they want.
Nigel Benn speaks with warmth and belief, the voice of a father watching his son carry a storied legacy. He praises the Eubank family, but his confidence in Conor burns through every word. Their family's history adds a deeper layer to the rivalry, making this more than a fight, it's unfinished business. Nigel's conviction can fuel Conor, but it also raises the stakes because this battle is about...
Well, it's not even that. I thank God for bringing Chris in my life and for bringing Chris Jr. in Conor. So, you know what, it's going to be a great night for Conor. I know that. But I'm just glad that, that we've got a family just like us that just likes to fight. But I know we're going to be victorious on Saturday.
Conor Benn sounds reflective as he admits his emotions took over in their first meeting. This time, he aims to channel that fire into control. The reminders of family rivalry add weight, highlighting how personal this clash has become. For Benn, this is about redemption and shaping his own legacy. His closing tone feels heavy, as if he understands one wrong move could turn this finale into a harsh lesson.
I did say the emotions got to bear me first time round. It'd be a lie saying if it didn't. When I get that win on Saturday, it'll mean a lot to me, my dad, my team. Ultimately, the family feud needs to be settled. This is the finale. This is the end. This ends here.
I know what's coming. I prepared my whole life for these moments. I've put the time in. I've dedicated decades to this sport, and I've done it all without cheating, without cutting any corners.
Eddie Hearn breaks down the matchup with measured excitement. Moving up to 160 gives Eubank Jr. a clear physical edge, and he has repeatedly shown comfort at this weight. Benn's hunger adds intensity, but Hearn makes it clear that desire alone won't beat a disciplined technician. Skill, structure, and the right plan are what matter here.
We've got to have a think about it. Conor's saying, I want revenge, I want this, and it's the biggest fight. I mean, it's massive. Yeah. But you don't want too many fights like that, and we're giving away advantage up here at 160.
Johnny Nelson offers his insight with the eye of a veteran. Conor Benn has improved, and his toughness is undeniable, but Eubank Jr. remains the more complete fighter. Benn survived the first fight, but never dictated it. Nelson believes the gap may have narrowed, but not enough to erase Eubank's natural advantages in size, skill, and ring intelligence.
Do you think Conor Benn will be better in the second fight?
Yes.
Does that mean that you think that by him being better and there's no more left for Chris Eubank, that Conor Benn's able to bridge the gap and get an outcome in his second fight?
Without a doubt.
You do?
He couldn't have done any more. If he could have knocked out Conor in that fight, he would have done. He just couldn't get rid of it. And Conor stuck it. So regardless of him being surprised that Conor stuck it out a lot more, he couldn't get...
ADO discusses the shifting dynamics of the rematch. He highlights how size and experience gave Eubank the edge in the first meeting. Now Benn returns with confidence, having felt Eubank's power and timing firsthand. Both have evolved, Eubank becoming more refined, Benn becoming more driven. The atmosphere at Tottenham promises a clash full of urgency and spectacle.
Ultimately, in the end, sort of bigger guy won it. The rematch is going to be interesting, I think. He's now realised that I can hurt that fighter. I've felt the other fighter's power. Next time, I know what's coming. I think he might even do better in the next one. I think he's got a shout to win it.
And Eubank's older.
I get these fights, but you do want to see Benn, can you kick on to try and win a...
George Groves reflects on the mental challenge fighters face after reaching a personal peak. Eubank Jr. has already climbed high, and Groves warns that maintaining hunger is vital. He respects Benn's ambition, but believes Eubank's maturity, discipline, and mental sharpness make him incredibly hard to derail. His perspective underscores that mindset and experience can decide fights before a punch is thrown.
I think maybe Conor Benn beats him. I think if I was Eubank, my point was at the time, I was like, mate, you have just climbed your Everest. You've just headlined a stadium. You've beat what is now a rival, spectacular fashion in terms of getting the win with your dad by your side and all the hooting and hollering that went on amongst it. You can't top that feeling. I don't begrudge you if you want to earn more money out of the sport, but be careful because you look way past his best.
Eddie Hearn captures the relentlessness of Benn's dedication. Every session in camp is focused on refinement and improvement. Sparring with Du Bois has pushed him physically and mentally, sharpening his reactions under real pressure. Benn isn't just chasing revenge, he's preparing for a naturally bigger man. Fans should expect a version of Benn that is disciplined, aggressive, and determined to leave no doubt.
Trying to improve, and it's inspirational, the whole time out there just working on getting better, improving, and I think it's fair to say pretty much camp started.
Duke McKenzie emphasizes the psychological advantage Eubank Jr. brings. His size and temperament allow him to dictate pace and direction. Benn not only must overcome physical differences, but also the subtle pressure Eubank applies mentally. Mackenzie makes it clear that strength alone won't win this fight. Experience, strategy, and psychological command could determine the outcome.
I'd be shocked if Eubank loses. I don't really see that happening. Again, he's fighting a career best welterweight. He knows that. From a psychological perspective, when you know you've got a smaller guy in front of you, you kind of start 2 or 3 rounds up in your...
Hamza Shiraz makes a bold pick, backing Ben inside 6 rounds. He points to the possible weight-related issues Eubank Jr. could face, noting that moving up in class can affect timing, stamina, and movement. Ben's intensity could create early danger if he exploits any weakness. This viewpoint adds unpredictability, suggesting that even with Eubank's experience, the early rounds may bring real jeopardy.
What's your prediction, Ben or Eubank?
I've got Conor Benn to win inside 6 rounds. I feel like the weight will affect Eubank too much on how it affected him before as well. And it was a hard fight, it wasn't an easy fight. Yeah, Conor Benn to win inside about.
Conor Benn's conversation with Carl Froch shows a fighter focused on efficiency. He talks about using movement, conserving energy, and picking moments wisely. It's a balance of aggression and patience, showing that Ben has learned from previous mistakes. His mental approach is sharper now, understanding that controlled aggression can create the openings he needs for fight-changing moments.
I'd like to see you calm it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Just on the outside, just the movement, just steady it down.
That's boring though, Carl.
No. On the outside, man, you don't want to be chucking energy away and burning down the bar. Think of it.
It's boring.
No, it's not boring, because then you get in range and you make it exciting.
Teddy Atlas breaks down the physical realities of the matchup. He explains the difficulty Ben faces trying to close distance on a bigger, more seasoned opponent. Eubank's size, hydration, and experience create layers of risk for Ben whenever he steps inside. Atlas makes clear that this fight will be won through precision, timing, and tactical discipline, not just power or pressure.
If this fight is the same as it would have been for the fathers. How unusual is that? So you got Ben, the smaller man, and then there's a hydration clause. He was a welterweight that he fought a few fights at junior middleweight, but Eubank's been a middleweight and super middleweight most of his career. So he is the guy who's bigger. I see the fight as Ben having to get close without taking damage.
Ramsey analyzes the challenge of rising multiple weight classes, stressing the natural advantage Eubank Jr. carries. Ben must start fast to offset the difference in size and maturity. If he cannot make early breakthroughs, Eubank's strength, control, and ring intelligence will take over. Ramsey's view highlights how critical the early rounds will be for Ben and how prepared Eubank is to punish hesitation.
To lose. And jumping up a weight is hard, but jumping up 2 is even harder. So Chris has got the advantage if it goes past 6. Ben's got to get this done early, otherwise it's going to be Chris's. I predict Chris in round 6.
The rematch between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn is shaping into one of the year's most heated showdowns. Eubank arrives disciplined, prepared, and physically optimized for 160, holding the edge in size and experience. Ben comes armed with hunger, improved skills, and a burning need for redemption. Every round will carry weight, blending tactics with emotion. If Eubank wins, his legacy strengthens. If Ben pulls off the upset, it becomes a defining triumph. Share your thoughts on who takes it and how you see the fight unfolding.